Hey VC, it's Eric. I am back. Went to a record show today. I'm going to show you some record store finds. And then when I started this channel, one of the things I wanted to spend some time talking about is horror punk, which is a genre that I'm a big fan of, that I spent a couple of years running a horror punk record label. I wrote a silly little guidebook to it back in the 90s, and I want to turn people on to horror punk bands that got lost in the shuffle. So starting off with my record show finds. A lot of stuff I buy, I want to get cheap player copies of things. They don't have to be in perfect condition. Looking for dollars, $2 bins, that kind of stuff. So starting it off, one of my favorite Johnny Cash records, Bitter Tears, the Ballad of the Native Americans. Great record. This is kind of rough condition, but it was $1, so figured score for that. This one was a $3 record. This is Greg Kihn. Pub rocky bar band stuff. The main reason I picked this up is because he does a cover of Another Girl, Another Planet on this. And I've always wanted to check out more of his stuff. Rockpile. This is Seconds. Seconds of Pleasure. If you don't know Rockpile, this is Nick Lowe and Dave Edmunds doing kind of pub rocky stuff from the late 70s, early 80s. Great stuff. Definitely worth checking out. And I was happy to get this for $2. Sleep at the Wheel, Wheeling and Dealing. Now, this was a $1 bin find, and I don't remember if I have this one. I might. If so, this one will get passed along to somebody. But, Sleep at the Wheel for $1. You can't beat that. This was my flyer. This is the one that I had seen around before. It's still sealed. I got it for $1. It's, how do you pronounce this guy's name? Randy Van Warmer. Looks like silly new wave stuff, kind of Thomas Dolby. I listened to a little bit of this on YouTube previously, and I figured a sealed copy for $1 was a, hey, why not? Firesign Theater, comedy, Nick Danger. I'm a sucker for PI stuff, so I figured for $1, why not? This is a really rough copy of Blows Against the Empire by Paul Kantner's. Is it Starship at this point? Yeah, Jefferson Starship. It's $1. It's a record that I've always heard you should check out if you like science fiction or that kind of stuff, so figured I would. And yeah, it's kind of split and beat up, but I'm more interested in being able to play it. Utopia, another live. So Utopia is a band that I've heard a lot about, and I was looking for something from them, so I found this in $1 bin and figured I'd check it out. I realized that live records aren't always the way to check out a band, but I figured for $1. The Animals. So this is the 1983 reunion on IRS Records. And I'm a sucker for the Animals, so I figured for $5, sure, why not? And I kind of love that cover. This one's called Arc. Alrighty. Tyranny and Mutations, the second Blue Oyster Cult record. This one's a little beat up. I got this one for $5. I don't have this one. I kind of want to get the first at least 6 or 7 of BOC's studio albums on vinyl. So I picked this one up. And I also picked up Spectres. And it's Halloween. This one has got Godzilla. It's got Death Valley Nights. It's got Nosferatu on it. So it's kind of a cool, spooky... This might be the last of their great albums. I think Fire of Unknown Origin, which came out in, I believe, 81, is pretty good. But this might be the last of their great albums. This one was also $5. So... I have been looking for some Queensryche vinyl. This is a gold stamp promo. Looks pretty good. This is probably the most expensive record I bought. I paid $8 for it. This is one of my favorite of their records, this and The Warning. I think Corey VC and I had exchanged some comments back and forth about checking out some Queensryche vinyl. So I found this and I jumped at it. Alright, so this is the end of the stuff I picked up at the record show. What I want to talk about is this band called Riot Squad. Alright kids, number 1, do not name your band Riot Squad. It's been done multiple times. It's just confusing. Come up with something better. These guys were a street punk band from Texas. In the 90s, they had some great... Let's see if I can get the song titles on there. Maybe not. Let me take off the sleeve. Great street punk songs. So on here, you've got things like Catwomen on the Moon. You've got Book of the Dead. Scary Picture Show, Dracula's Daughter, all that kind of cool stuff. Great. There's no reason this band should not have been on Hellcat Records. This is their first record, which came out on vinyl, black vinyl. When this was on Last Beat Records, these guys actually were on a compilation I put out in the 90s with my brother called Tombstone Park. But these guys were great. I love their stuff. I really wish that they had a better name, and B had gotten more attention. So if you see this record around, check it out, grab it up. There are some videos on YouTube of their stuff. So they put out that record, and they also put out a CD. This one also is on Last Beat Records. It was later reissued by Haunted Town Records, which you can find online, and I haven't checked lately, but they may or may not still have some of the Riot Squad stuff in their catalog. This one's got It Conquered the World. It's got The Bride, which is one of my favorite songs about Frankenstein. It's got a cover of Hybrid Moments. Like I said, Hellcat Records, Styles, Street Punk, check it out. So, like I said, they had a name. It wasn't great. Here's their 7-inch for Scary Picture Show. And this was on Haunted Town Records, and this was on green vinyl. So this is Scary Picture Show backed with Nosferatu and Eaters of the Dead. Great band, great cover. If you see this one, snatch it up. I think, as far as I know, this is the only, I'm going to put that back in later, the only 7-inch that they did. So they actually did change their name. They changed their name to the Staggers. Still not a great name. They put out 2 CDs, both on Haunted Town Records. Both are good. Both have street punk style songs, but there are some more, I don't want to say nuances, but definitely growing a little bit of songwriters. Songs on here like Book of the Dead again. They do a cover of Snoopy versus Red Baron, Abducted by Nazis in Hollywood, Earth Dies Screaming, From Within. Good stuff. This one is Won't Live to See Tomorrow, Last Man on Earth, Last Great Western, Staggerly, Legacy of Hate. Great stuff on these records. If you like that kind of music, check them out. The lead singer has gone on to front a band called Dog Company. I have their CD, but I have not really checked out too much beyond their initial release. But if you see this stuff around, very cool, horror punky. Check them out online. Check them out on YouTube. See if it's your thing. All right, before I go, it's Halloween. You got your copies of Return of the Living Dead Part 1. This is the UK version, Steelbook. There's a new Scream Factory one out that you can grab. I have that downstairs, but that Steelbook's kind of cool. I want to recommend this for all of you that like 70s punk rock, that like Nick Lowe, that want the story behind kind of the punk era. This is the story of Dr. Feelgood, Oil City Confidential. This is an essential part of the punk rock history. This is the genre that kind of preceded punk in the UK. It's a great documentary by Julian Temple. Highly, highly recommended. Check it out. Good stuff. All right. Everyone have a happy and safe Halloween. Catch you next time. If you like this, hit subscribe, leave a comment. If you want more information, I will put a Spotify list of as much of the stuff that I showed today as I can put together via Spotify. I do a podcast. I don't know if I mentioned this before. It's called Love That Album. On the main episodes, I do a segment where I talk for 8 to 10 minutes about a record that I like or a record I love or a record I'm discovering. And then each month I also do a 20-minute or so podcast that's just me talking about compilation albums I think people should check out. So any of that stuff sounds good to you, I'm on Twitter. Yeah, check it out, and I'll catch you all later.